Chapter 11, Trueness. Every era has its problems when it comes to knowing Jesus. One of ours is this: having lost all confidence in the noble, the heroic, even the consistently good, we have come to celebrate the neurotic. Really? The heroes of our novels and movies are anti-heroes, broken characters riddled with self-doubts and addictions. In fact, doubt, masquerading as humility, has become a condition for acceptance in our time. People of strong conviction and bold claims are suspect. We fear them. They might be a terrorist or a Christian. Now, part of this is entirely understandable. When you live in a world rocked by scandal and expose multiple times a day, you just grow cynical. Who is it this time? Some politician, a multinational corporation, the church? Take a number. We've reached the point where we presume corruption, or at least that every story is tainted, guilty until proven innocent. It's the triumph of jaundice. Skepticism has become a virtue. This has quietly shaped a popular view of Jesus as a man not so much heroic as humanitarian, not a warrior operating behind enemy lines, but just a humble man trying to do good in a hurting world, a man stuck in his personal Gethsemane. If he is doubting and uncertain, we feel better about ourselves. Now, yes, Jesus had his dark night of the soul. There was that harrowing moment on the cross when he cried out to a father who seemed to abandon him. But friends, this encompassed less than 24 hours of his entire life. He didn't live there, nor did he stay there. It was an abyss through which he passed, through which he was able to pass because of something deeper to him. When Jesus returns, mounted on a white horse, army by his side to end this horrific age and usher in the next, he is called by a name we haven't heard in the Gospels. That name is faithful and true. I saw heaven standing open, John wrote, and there before me was a white horse whose rider is called Faithful and True. By that point in the story, it is what he deserves to be called, and it is what the world needs to be reassured of too: faithful and true. Qualities so rare in this carnival of masquerades that they'll take some unpacking to appreciate. Why did Nicodemus visit Jesus at night? Fear of what his peers would do if they found out. He wasn't alone in this. John says that many, even among the leaders, believed in him, but because of the Pharisees, they would not confess their faith for fear they would be put out of the synagogue. They chose job security over Jesus. This is a mighty powerful force. Even after their son is healed of blindness, and how grateful would a parent be? Even then, the fellow's parents tremble before the elite. The Jews still did not believe that he had been blind and had received his sight until they sent for the man's parents. "Is this your son?" they asked. "Is this the one you say was born blind? How is it that now he can see?" "We know he is our son," the parents answered, "and we know he was born blind, but how he can see now or who opened his eyes, we don't know. Ask him. He is of age. He will speak for himself." His parents said this because they were afraid of the Jews, for already the Jews had decided that anyone who acknowledged that Jesus was the Christ would be put out of the synagogue, from John chapter 9. The fear of man, peer pressure. What will others think? I'm convinced that until we have a healthy appreciation of how deep this actually runs in us, we are kidding ourselves about our motives. Surely, you remember high school. Did you really wear whatever clothes you wanted, say whatever you believed when you went to school? Heavens no! You'd have been eaten alive. It's a Shark Tank. a pack of jackals. One show of weakness, and you will be devoured by your own kind. We dressed and spoke and laughed and walked and held the opinions that we did in order to fit in. Our group of choice may have been the jocks, the cool kids, the academic crowd, the rebels. Regardless of the details, we all lived a very calculated life. We still do. What people think of me is a very powerful motivator. It is still shaping us more than we'd like to admit. It shapes our theology, our politics, our values. I spent time today with a young man in the music industry. Why did I use the term dude more than I normally do? And before that, I was speaking with a woman in ministry. Now, I never use the term dude, but I did talk about the Lord a good bit. I feel like a chameleon. I adapt myself to the social foliage around me. While Jesus was still talking to the crowd, his mother and brothers stood outside wanting to speak to him. Someone told him, "Your mother and brothers are standing outside wanting to speak to you." He replied to him, "Who is my mother? And who are my brothers?" Pointing to his disciples, he said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. For anyone who does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother." From Matthew 12. Okay, the Jewish culture may be the most family-centric culture in the world. Honor your father and mother has been drilled into Jewish sons and daughters from birth. Back at the wedding reception in Cana, all Mary had to do was to turn and say to Jesus, "They're out of wine." And Jesus made the exception for her, a Jewish mother and a good Jewish boy. Now here we have Jesus inside a crowded house teaching. Word gets passed through the crowd, your mother and brothers are outside. And everyone understands what he will do next. He'll stop what he's doing and go to them. He doesn't. He leaves them standing in the street. Now remember, you are watching love. Here is another portrait of love in action. Whatever else we see that Jesus is not beholden even to family. Now, maybe some of you are free in this regard. Are you sure it's not merely defiance? But for the rest of us, this is absolutely extraordinary. You're going to be here for Christmas this year, of course. You know how much it means to your mother. It's been 2 weeks since you called. Is everything all right? Your brother needs a place to stay for a few months. We know you'll do the right thing. How much of what we do is motivated by a fear of man? Think of it. To be entirely free of false guilt, free from pressure, free from false allegiances, it would be absolutely extraordinary. This is what gives Jesus the ability to say such startling things to people. This is what enables him to be so scandalous. This is the secret of his ability to navigate praise and contempt. Neither success nor opposition have power over him. Jesus is the same man, the same personality through the whole swirling tempest. Jesus is free from the fear of man. It is something more than integrity, though it certainly encompasses that. He is true. True to himself, true to his Father, true to what the moment most requires, true to love. In this forest of fig leaves, where you are never sure you are getting the true person, there is nothing false about Jesus. That alone makes me adore him.